The Wii U Hebrews. Hey, you see, I don't even have to have context of what I'm saying. I don't even have the context for my rhymes. They're just there. Ain't that something? All right, look seriously. Let's talk about why the Wii U sucked ass. There's defense mode, switch and attack mode, and the Wii U sucked. I don't know why so many fans you pretend like, oh, the Wii U was great. The Wii U was fantastic. The Wii U was such an underrated system. Blah blah blah. Lies. The Wii U was never great. I was there. I bought it 2 months after it came out. It wasn't good. It's the same crap with the GameCube, man. When the GameCube first came out, everyone understood that it sucked. Everyone understood, hey, the Wii U sucks. It was no good. The Mario game, the Fallout 64 was no good. The Fallout Zelda was a freaking cartoon mess. The had original IPs like Pikmin and stuff, but they never really caught fire. Animal Crossing, kind of caught fire. Not bad new IPs, but still. I mean, even the 64 didn't have enough third-party games, but at least it had enough good first-party games. Some of them are revolutionary. The GameCube, and I had the small disc, and the PS2 was going to the DVD thing, and GameCube and Nintendo started with the small disc, and it was a mess. The Smash Bros. Was one of the few real good games on there. Then I had a couple of Dreamcast rejects came to the GameCube, and then I guess the Resident Evil remake, the first one. But we're not here talking about the GameCube and why it sucked. We're talking about the Wii U. And look, the Wii U, the first year it came out, it had nothing. It had New Super Mario Bros., which is a fine game, but if you play one of the New Super Mario Bros. Games, you play them all. They're the same game every time. I played the very first one on the original DS. Was a good system. That was a good game. But then they made the same exact game, kind of with just a little bit of differences on the Wii. And then they made kind of the same thing on the 3DS. Then they made the same game on the Wii U. Why do you think we haven't seen a new Super Mario Bros. Game since then? Because it's the same game. The same freaking game every time. I played on the Wii U and it was fine. It was alright. Wasn't mind blowing. Wasn't this that. Just a good Mario game. A good 2D and move left and right Mario game. And then Rayman was supposed to come out like in February, and then it didn't end up coming out in October, November. Just was a mess. That was like the only game I had the whole year. Then we have other weird games like Sonic Lost World was, even though it's kind of it's probably like the last good Sonic game came out, even decent. Then we had that weird wannabe the wannabe Beautiful Joe game. Y'all remember Beautiful Joe? But it was like a whole bunch of them, and they all make them come together to make one thing, and it's kind of a unique game, but the game had its faults. Then we had the Lego game, which is actually a pretty decent game, but look, there's too many kiddish games on there. Then they finally decided to come out with Bayonetta, which took forever to come out, but once it came out, it was a short game. I remember I got Bayonetta, and when I played the original one, which took a long time for me to beat, pretty hard game, then I immediately went to Bayonetta 2, and I remember beating that game in no time. And I was like, well, this is way shorter than the first one. So much for taking their damn time. The game was alright, but I thought a lot of people said part 2 is better than part 1. I thought part 1 was better than part 2. I thought the pacing was better, I thought the battles were harder, the last boss was a lot harder. The game was a lot more raunchier. Like the first Bayonetta, she was real over sexualized and Jerome they're near dry hump that guy character that likes or whatever. But freaking and the second one she's she has parts here and there where she's still over sexualized, do a lot of perverted shit. But then she's just it wasn't as much, and all of a sudden she's not like she was not even flirting with that guy character anymore. You know what I'm talking about? Not the demon guy that sells you weapons. I'm talking about the other guy the guy that helps you out throughout the game. But yeah, it's just like it was disappointment after disappointment. Usually a sign of a bad Nintendo system is when the Mario and Zelda games suck. You already know Zelda didn't come out till the Switch came out, so that doesn't count. We all look at Zelda Breath of the Wild as a Switch game, not a Wii U game. So pretty much we never really got a Zelda game until the end when Switch already came out. And then as far as Mario goes, Mario 3D World was just a poor man's Mario 3D Land. And I don't know why, again, with this crap. Everyone thinks that Mario 3D World was the better Mario 3D game and land, blah, 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 blah. I don't. The only person I see video game dunk, he's the only one that like I see freaking actually says 3D Land was better. And yes, I agree. I played 3D Land first on the 3DS, and I played 3D World. Again, the same crap with Bayonetta 1 and 2. 3D Land was the superior Mario game. It was way better than 3D World. 3D World was way too freaking easy. The design, the game level design was a lot more simpler, a lot less challenging, and just was more to be fun, which is cool and all. But 3D World, 3D Land was actually a lot more of a challenge. It felt like the developers were actually making, challenging stages, and it felt new when you played on the 3D Land. And that was actually a pretty decent 3D Mario game. I wouldn't say it's as good as Galaxy, but it was actually pretty decent. But once 3D World came out, I felt like I've already been through here already. It wasn't like with Galaxy 1 and 2. With Galaxy 2 added a lot more to the Galaxy universe. No, 3D World added nothing. It was the same exact game, except it was a lot easier, simpler, and you could play with your friends, and a lot of kind of recycled, things. And it was just 3D World was not better than 3D Land. 3D Land was a superior one. Bayonetta 1 was superior than Bayonetta 2. We never really got a Zelda game. Xenoblade. Oh yeah, let's talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles X was not as good as Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And I was a guy who I thought the first Xenoblade Chronicles was a bit overrated, and I wanted this game to be better than Xenoblade Chronicles. For no reason, I don't know what's my problem. But then Xenoblade Chronicles X came out, and I had to be a man and admit it wasn't as good as the first Xenoblade Chronicles. I remember I just beat that game, and I was preparing myself for X. X came out, I never finished the game because you have to do something where you have to save up $1 million, whatever money in their game, to get a strong mech, or what they call them, dolls in Japan, but I forgot what they call them in America. But I remember it was originally called dolls. Cute, right? A big giant machine doll. Anyway, freaking they played. I had to get a doll to fight one of these super bosses or whatever and everything. And in order to get that much money, you have to be playing the game a lot. So basically what we did was that me and my brother, we freaking just left the Wii U on overnight and slept. And then woke up and then, oh look, we had $1 million because that's how the money accumulates just by playing the game. So basically you had to forcing you to do a whole bunch of side quests to gain that much money to get those freaking, dolls. I forgot what they call them in the American version. I'm not going to pause the video and look it up because I don't care. But freaking... I remember once I got to that point, I was just like, oh, they're just forcing me to do a bunch of side quests. Screw that. Then I just stopped playing the game. Though one of the real good games I liked was one of the last games that came out, and that was Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, called Tokyo Stories something. I forget what it's called. And I wish they would put that to the Nintendo Switch already. Because that was one of the few good games I actually really liked. I had no problems with, but didn't get to finish it. I wanted to finish it, didn't get to finish it. Most of my time with the Wii U, I ended up playing a whole bunch of Wii games that I missed out on because I missed out on the 7th generation. That's a whole nother video. And that game was the original Xenoblade Chronicles and the Last Story, which became one of my favorite RPGs. So the Wii U helped me appreciate and like the Nintendo Wii and how good it was, really, even despite its stupid gimmicky controllers. And made me wish I would have stuck and played that console when it was out, because a lot of good games came on there. The Zelda game wasn't as good, the Skyward Sword, I heard, because they forced you to do the controller, same with Galaxy 2. But there's a lot of good games on there. A lot of good RPGs, a lot of good mixtures. Then Kirby came back. A whole bunch of good stuff. The Wii U, on the other hand, it's Kirby game with some stupid gimmicky Kirby game. We have to use the stick, the stylus. The Wii U had 0 third-party games, and the first-party games came out. They didn't necessarily knock it out the park. So, the Wii U was terrible. I had the Wii U throughout the whole course of it. I remember the whole time I was admitting this console sucks. Barely had any games. The games that did came out were either not as good as the ones before, or just mediocre enough, or just good enough to get by. I would just be sitting there for months and months. I finally, 2015, just got myself a PS4. Once I got my PS4, I never looked back. I had games after game after game after game after game after game after game. And I've been satisfied ever since. But when I was just trying to be only a Nintendo person, I only have the Wii U. Oh my god, I was miserable. Miserable as hell. No games ever came out. Months and months with drought. I remember one year all they had was Tropical Freeze. Donkey Kong game was just too many 2D games kept coming out. Can I have some 3D games, some actual games? Too many 2D games are coming out. They're Reggie was like, "Oh yeah, we have Tropical Freeze," and the guy's like, "Anything else coming out?" He's like, "Oh no, we have to be patient." No games were coming out on the Wii U, and the games that did come out, when you finally got a game, you felt like it was a freaking something handed to you by God, like the hand of God just gave you something because it was like, "Thank you, I finally got some food for this year," or some shit. And then when you ate it, you're like, wasn't the greatest thing. That the Wii U was terrible, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was just bad. The Switch is 1,000 times better. My next video will be talking about Nintendo Switch and why that console's so great compared to this console, the Wii U, which sucked a big. All right, I'm switching back to my attack mode. Switching back to defense mode. I'm out. Peace.